When you're walking in, I know it's true. It doesn't even matter how hard I try, 'cause when I hear your voice, my walls come down. Boy, you are the only thing I want.
Meet Ray and Kim, the owners of the Bearded Dog Brewing Company located in downtown Harrow, Ontario. Soon after opening their new venture, the staff started to see shadows and movements out of the corner of their eyes and would often sense a presence when the restaurant was closed. Tune in to this episode to find the unique way Kim, Ray, and their staff have learned to work together with the resident spirit of Rose. And stay up to date with my podcast by subscribing to my YouTube channel at Bella Silva Casolis. Hi, Kim and Ray. Welcome to my show.
Hi, thanks for having us.
I am so happy. I see that you guys there are at the Bearded Dog. I love the Bearded Dog, but it sounds like a hard rock band. Every time I hear the name, I just want to rock out like AC/DC. Yeah. So tell me about the Bearded Dog. How did the concept come up? How did the name come up? Because that's fabulous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, funny part is it kind of all started on a whim. Really, I think we were both at a previous job at the time. We were on strike, and I think we probably had a lot more time than we ever had before. So I don't exactly remember what the conversation was or how it started. But we were like, well, let's go pick up one of those, make your own beer at home kits. And it was simple as that. That's how it started. We started making beer on our countertop on our stove. We fell in love with the process, and it kind of went from there.
Yeah. So we just kept brewing all different kinds of beer, and we really, really liked it. And we started visiting other breweries, and we're like, well, this would be neat to do. Why don't we do that one day? And we kind of kept playing with the idea, well, where would we set up a brewery, right? And this location came available, and we talked to the owners, and kind of we decided to make it happen.
Yeah,
so
I mean, even when we stepped inside we were here before with the previous owners, and I've always liked it, always liked the building, but when we kind of saw that it was for sale, we kind of just we're like, this is it. This has got to be the building. Yeah, we just kind of fell in love with it.
Beautiful, beautiful old building in downtown Harrow. So yeah, and it's had a couple different reincarnations actually since you guys had it. But how did you guys come up with the Bearded Dog? I'm assuming it's for you, Ray, and not for Kim.
I know. It's funny because we always say we wish we had a really cool story for our name, because we love our name. We love it. But there's really we're just sort of playing around with ideas, right? And we're like, I wish we had a cooler story than.
I think we always kind of like the idea of having some kind of an animal in the name. And we both have some rescue dogs and all that. So we wanted to kind of maybe incorporate that in. Obviously I have the beard itself, but I also noticed that a lot of brewers always had these really big scruffy beards. So it's just kind of how it came together. It was just kind of that combining the names. And I think we had a sheet of all these different names that we ended up crossing off, and then we did Bearded Dog. And then it just clicked.
Yeah, it does. I love it. I love the name. I mean, it's just, you just think about it, Bearded Dog, it just, so many different things come to mind when you hear it. And I just every time I see you, I'm thinking you're going to come up with all these tattoos. You're going to be like a hard rocker. And then you're like the sweetest guy. And I'm like, oh, he's one of those gentle labs. While we're all here. So you guys came to me actually for an ear kindling thing, right? And we decided while I was doing the ear kindling on Ray, I started getting some messages coming through, and they kept saying, do it. So I've been kicking around an idea in my head, and figuring out where I was going to do it. And you guys just happened to pop in like the angels you were. So it was a psychic dinner thing. And I approached you guys about the idea, and you guys were on board, like, number one, yes, let's do it. And actually, it was quite successful until COVID hit.
It was, yes.
So, so when I came in, and the very first time I sat down with the very first client, I had a spirit come in, and I started tapping into the spirit, and I was talking to her. She didn't tell me her name right away, but I started describing her to this person that I was across from me, and she couldn't take that spirit. She's like, I have no idea who that spirit is. So I kind of let her go and sit in the back burner, but she kept sitting there and wouldn't go. So every client that day, that night that came to me, I asked them over and over and over again, and no one could take this spirit. But before we get into that anymore, I didn't tell you guys about it right away. And then I think it was the second event that I had there, the second day, I think I said something to you, Kim. And that's when you told me about your experiences in the building. So can you guys go into that?
Yeah, so I think it all started with one of our previous employees. And she would often say, Kim, I think you're standing there and I'm talking to you, but when I turn around, like I feel someone there. When I turn around, there's no one there. She's like, I see like the dark hair out of the corner of my eye. I go to look and there's no one there. And she said this a couple times, and I kind of didn't. I'm like, oh, okay. We kind of giggled about it and went on our way. And then, maybe a month later, my bookkeeper came in early in the morning, and she was working away. And when I came in to talk to her, my bookkeeper said, what's funny is that I thought you had come in like hours ago and were standing in the doorway, and I started talking to you. And when I turned around to say like hi or whatever, and there was no one there. She said, I felt like the dark hair. And it was the exact same story that my cook was saying, right? That they were thinking it's me, but when they turn around, there's no one there. And then I started kind of getting these little glimpses of like dark shadows in the kitchen. Again, I would turn around and think someone was there, and there's no one there. And then a different employee started probably 6 months after we had opened. And she came into the front part out of the kitchen, and she said, Kim, were you not just in the very back room, back by the door? And I said, nope, I've been up front the whole time. She says, I just saw somebody back there. And she swore it looked like me. So all three people are kind of saying the same thing. And again, I'm at the same time getting glimpses of dark shadows. So we kind of all started getting suspicious that maybe there would be, we're not alone here, is what we were thinking.
And
so,
actually, quite often too, we have an automatic paper towel dispenser in the back, and all of a sudden there won't be anyone back there, and you'll hear the little sound, the little like motor on it run, like a paper towel gets dispensed. Mm-hmm. You go back, there's no one back there, and it happens fairly often.
Right, and it actually happens in the front part of the kitchen as well. And there is times where we're like talking about, our sightings, and then the paper towel would go off, and then we'd all kind of look at each other like, oh hi, right? And now that we kind of have a name to go with her after talking to you, we now definitely acknowledge her.
After I think after the second night, I came to you and said, you know, Kim, there's a spirit here. There's many spirits there, but she was probably the most prominent one. And she came in because where I was sitting, I believe is your office was behind me. And that's where she tends to hang out. She tends to hang out in a couple different locations, the women's bathroom in that area there, and then also in the office. It's still the two most prominent spaces, but she tends to travel the whole thing. And then you didn't really say too much that day to me. You just kind of looked at me kind of shocked. Ray, I don't think you had really seen her at all at that point.
No, not at that point. No.
No. So, but your grandfather, because then you guys all booked me in for it was funny. It was a Bearded Dog psychic reading event.
That's right. Yeah.
I came in and I gave all of you guys readings. Ray, your grandfather was very prominent, and he told you that he's in there, and he gave you so much advertising and marketing advice that I wish I would have written half of that advice down for myself. But yeah, and he acknowledged that Rose was there. And he had a conversation with her because she was very protective of the building, because she loved that building, and she was very protective of it, and she was kind of feeling you guys out because she didn't really like the liquor part of it, so she was sitting there feeling you guys out really for that. So that's why you're a little more open, Kim, so that's probably why you felt her a little more. And she was just like, you know, seeing what was about with you guys during your reading. So it was pretty good. And that's when she gave me her name, actually, because she came at me with some roses in her hand, specifically pink roses. So and then I just told you guys, and I kind of went, all right, you know, Rose it is. And I just gave you some things that she said. She wanted you guys to, you know, bring more roses into the restaurant, and to, you know, just acknowledge her there, which you guys have, and she's excited about that. But since I gave you the reading, you guys had other stuff that came up afterwards. If you guys want to talk about that.
Yeah, so I actually had my first kind of glimpse of Rose during lockdown. So that had to be back around stage 1 or stage 2 when there weren't any customers in the building. And I was just up at the bar, and I must have just been organizing, putting stuff away, cleaning. And that's when I saw a quick glimpse of her. She was just wearing, it looked like kind of a black silhouette type, but it looked like maybe she was wearing black, and she had like long black hair, but it was just a blink of an eye. And I think I might have just been there maybe by myself at the time too, because otherwise I would have maybe thought it was maybe Kim doing something. But no, like Rose was maybe just walking by, and I didn't really even think much of it for a second. It was just like she was just an employee doing whatever task she was doing. And yeah, I don't know. And I felt it's definitely not like a negative feeling or anything. It's a very positive like feelings we get from Rose.
She really enjoys the two of you. She loves your energy. And I think she really loved the fact, because then I found out afterwards that you actually added her to the employee in the computer. So I mean, and she told me that when I had come in for one of the other events that we had, and she was giggling about it because it was like she was working there again. So excited about it. So the fact that you were able to see her was just, I think, her way of saying thank you to you. And she's just doing her thing, going about, and she's an employee there at the Bearded Dog, and she's making sure that she's doing her thing.
No, also on your advice, you told us that, you know, on a day that you know is going to be really busy, or if you have like a big crowd coming in, maybe let her know in advance. So you know, so we have done that, but also like I think also like with the whole COVID shutdown at first, then like all of a sudden there was no one in here. So we were even kind of telling her that too, like, you know, don't worry, we're still here, you know, like. And
she's always like, the impression I got from her is she would do anything to help you guys out with your business. She loves both of your energies, so she clearly loves being there. And I think your grandfather stepped in and actually talked to her about you and saying, you know, my boy, he's a good guy, you know, he's not like, he's a good boy, you can trust him and stuff. And so she was a little leery about it, but she's great. And I know that at first when I started telling you guys this, you guys were kind of like, okay, you know, we've seen stuff, but okay. But then you guys got confirmation from someone. Do you guys want to talk about that, Kim? Or Rick?
Yeah, so actually we weren't even here. But our employees were up at the bar, and there were some customers in, and they were talking about Rose being around, and you know, we have a friendly spirit here, and there was, you know, lots of conversation about that, and you know how we've all seen her and all that good stuff. And then another customer came in and sat at the bar, and she said how she used to work here at some point. I think it might have been like the last restaurant that was
Yeah, it could have been a couple of restaurants back, but
yeah. So anyway, she said she had worked here, and she started talking about Rose and how she had seen Rose many times. And then I guess it became a very big conversation about Rose. And I can't remember what else they said they definitely confirmed her name was Rose. And that her favorite flower was pink roses, which is what you had said to us.
Yeah, she loved her job here.
Yeah, and
So I mean, I think at that point, I know, Ray, you were a little skeptic. You were like, I'm a believer now.
Right.
And she was just so excited about it. So now that COVID have you said you've seen her since COVID hit and stuff. So has stuff picked up for you? Has Rose helped you in any way? Has she come around a little more?
I do still see like glimpses of her. It's funny because sometimes we're out front and I see her like zipping around the kitchen. Like I'll just see like a flash in front of, there's this like this little window that I can see into the kitchen, and I just see like her like kind of darting across, running around in the kitchen.
Yeah, just
being busy.
A little busybody doing, you know.
Yeah, so I'm like, there's Rose. Like, oh, hi, Rose. When did you get here? I didn't know you came in. Like, oh yeah, we often talk to her and say, you know, when we come in, you know, we have a picture that we put up of a rose, and oftentimes I'll see it when I walk in, and I say, good morning, Rose, and you know, we talk to her a lot. So it's kind of it's fun to know her name and know she's friendly, and what Ray and I kind of said, she gives you like such a warm feeling, like it's she's such a good spirit.
Yeah, like you might feel her presence, but it's almost like having a friend or a family member in a room or in the same house with you. Like, you know, they're there, you might not, you know.
Yeah, she's a very gentle spirit, and she loves everything you guys are doing. She loves the fact that you guys hang the picture up there, because it's just it's her. So and the fact that you guys acknowledge her and talk to her, I mean, that's the one thing that she really loves that you guys do, and that's great, because she's really there to help you guys out as much as she possibly can. And I know it's been a little tough with COVID and stuff, but she's there to help you guys out when it starts picking up, and it will. I mean, we're going to be doing I'm going to be doing more psychic events there with you guys, so I can't wait for the limits to be lifted and for us to start doing that stuff, and to do because I know there's different events where they do psychic and wine, but we're going to do psychic and beer, because I mean, hopefully you guys have your signature beer at that point, because we can actually do, you know, the flights and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, I think. And so is there anything else? You guys also serve food as well, so it's not just a beer brewing place. It's actually a restaurant that you guys can take out. Do you guys have, what is your special? What is the one thing that people order the most from you guys?
We do get asked that often. People love our burgers and fries, and I don't know, nachos and wings
Nachos
get
and wings, like they fly off like crazy.
Well, of course, wings and
it's a-
burger, like wings and beer, right? Rings and
Yeah.
beer.
yeah.
I think it's a nice
Like
combination of comfort food. I think there's options, definitely options, even from house salads and Caesar salads all the way to dessert, and like we have a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Your food is great. I've eaten there before, and I've clearly I've had psychic dinners there.
Yes.
So, I was going to ask you guys something else about what are you guys doing? I know that the COVID stuff, what are you guys going to do for now that we're going into the winter months? Because that's November. So patio season is going to get kind of cold. What are you guys doing with that? I know your takeout's probably the one thing that's prominent that's keeping you guys going. Is there anything else that we could do for you to help you out?
I don't know, kind of going into the Christmas season, kind of keep us in mind. If you want to get together with a couple of friends or whatever, we do have a lot of social distancing,
Yeah.
like room.
Like we do have like two separate rooms. We have like the bar side, and then we also have kind of more of like a side room, dining room side as well. So, and it's spread out. We had to remove a couple of tables to be in safety protocols, but it's spread out, very safe.
Yes, it's a beautiful it's a beautiful space. So and if somebody wanted to have like a party or something, we could rent that room out or have the event there.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just numbers are a little limited, so make sure you call and make reservations, because sometimes you never know.
Right.
Well, why don't you give us the number for the Bearded Dog and your actual address?
Okay. Do you know it?
You give the address, I have to look it up.
Okay, the address is 21 King Street East in Harrow.
Uh-huh.
And the phone number is 226-207-0448.
That's awesome. So thank you guys so much for being on my show. And Rose loves the fact that you guys own the build. Well, you guys are going to be owning the building soon enough. She's putting that in the works. Believe me. She's putting it in the works. She doesn't want you guys to leave. So she loves the fact that you guys are there, and you guys are great, awesome people. I love doing events there, and I cannot wait to get back and do it. Thank you.
We can't wait either. Yeah, thank you. And we thank you for connecting us with Rose.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? We wouldn't have had a name if you wouldn't have come along. It was just, it was meant to be that.
Yeah.
Clearly it was meant to be. She put you guys in touch with me at somewhere.
Yes, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, we want to thank you. We can't wait to do the psychic dinners again. They were awesome before, and can't wait to get right back and keep doing that.
Yeah, that was so much fun, and I know people love it and they keep asking me about it. So we are definitely going to do, even if we do something called psychic and takeout, we're going to do something.
Sure.
Yes, we're on board with that for sure. Yes.
Next time you're in Harrow, pay the Bearded Dog a visit. Have some great food, some awesome beer, and don't forget to ask the staff about their resident spirit named Rose. I'm sure she'd love to chat with you.